What's up, guys? Jeremy Conn. It's the Lowdown here. I guess I don't need my earbuds as I just came off of another podcast. So, interesting enough, looking at what's going on over here at Pickdawgz, I've been on a bit of a heater. I had 6 straight winning days. As I said before when I went on the morning show earlier, it was like I try not to get too ahead of myself and be so happy. You want to enjoy those moments when you're hitting at 65%. But also you don't want to play with the gambling gods at all. So I don't like messing with them. So I try to just stay level and not get too high, not get too low. I know obviously when you hit a big one, it's kind of hard not to get, not to go crazy and feel great about that. Or if you've suffered a bad loss, and we've had a couple of them this week in baseball games, depending on which side you're on. I've been very fortunate because some of those late scores have helped me out. But baseball's a weird sport, man. So I got 4 games for you today. It's a lighter slate, so please hit the like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. The notification button will help you out. Check out Pickdawgz.com. You guys can see all the different premium plays. I usually put out a triple play, which is probably my 3 favorite plays of the day, and I've hit that 6 days in a row. And, today, as I look at it, I put out a couple – what I call it, the 5-run homer, 5 plays. I've done that a few times, but I'm only going to do that when there's something I love. If I see the board and I really like it, and usually that's a situation where it's great hitting weather, and a lot of places are great pitching weather to match up with my handicapping. So let's get into the games. Just do this because this will probably the kiss of death. This will probably be a shorter one, guys. It's got a lot of running to do. All right, let's start off with Seattle and Minnesota. We got Emerson Hancock and Simeon Woods Richardson. It's the mid-60s, 8 miles an hour blowing in. There's some rain. These are 2 pitchers I would typically attack that I'd want to go after as far as scoring. I mean, I know the bullpens have been taxed in these games. I'm going to lean towards the under here. Not that I love the play. The wind's going to help with the fly ball pitchers. And if you've been watching a couple of games with Simeon Woods Richardson, the guy can get some Ks. Just a lot of hard contact from Hancock and Woods Richardson. So that is concerning, but I do think the weather's going to help and that this game should be an underplay. So that's where I lean. Let's go to the Cubs and Cardinals. It's almost 100 degrees there, and the wind's blowing out about 6 miles an hour. We have Shota Imanaga and Andre Palante. I've talked about Palante before, can get soft contact, can get those ground balls at times. I'm going to lean towards the over here. It feels like every Cubs game has gone over, and they've been in just ridiculous hitting conditions. And the thing that I think a lot of handicappers don't look at, or people, I shouldn't say handicappers, but gamblers, like bullpens. As easily as if you're not betting first 5s and you're betting on the starting pitcher, those things can easily be, a great way to sway one way or another. If you watched, I had the Orioles the other night when they were losing to the Rangers, and we had the situation where they came back. They hit 3 homers in whatever it was, the 7th inning, 6th inning. I can't remember. But they came back and then just promptly give it back up because their bullpen's taxed. And in this hot weather, I mean, it wears down these pitchers quick. That's why I worry about bullpen games in hot weather, because all you need is one of those guys to struggle, and it can change the whole game. But again, I would lean towards the over, even with Shota Imanaga and Andre Palante is not going to scare anyone. But again, like when we talk about some of these ground ball pitchers, he's not a big K guy. He's going to hit bats. So that's where we're hoping the weather helps and he gets knocked around a bit, because Shota's been fantastic this year. But again, sometimes it's more about outlasting the starting pitcher than it is actually beating them and getting to a bad bullpen. And these bullpens have been overused, I think, through the weekend series and then now into this one as well. Going to go back to Coors, Dodgers, and Rockies. I've said this before. If you hear me, I don't usually bet Coors. There are times if the hitting weather's matching up and the money's coming in and everybody's scared to bet an over with like a good pitcher in Coors, those are a lot of the spots that I'll attack. When you get to the 12.5 and 13s and people are afraid of those, I'll attack some of those as well. But the conditions have to be right. Like Coors, I really feel like when you bet Coors, you're really gambling, and it's not handicapping those games because just weird things happen. The ballpark is huge. The balls drop in. Like if you see the wind blowing left to right, try fielding out there and watch how far those balls can roll. The same thing with like extra base hits or pitchers coming in that have never pitched there before. Just something to look at. This game's interesting because Kershaw's pitched there plenty of times. I've seen him get rocked, and I've seen him just lock in. He's not the same pitcher that he once was. The wind is blowing in at about 5 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour, and it's in the high 70s. But as I look at this matchup, I would lean under here. You get an afternoon game. Sometimes you get the shadows there. Kershaw. I like Austin Gomber. His first start pitched great. This last start, not so much. He got knocked around in Coors and beat up, but he's a guy that they have high hopes for. So I like the spot here for an under, or lean towards an under. I shouldn't say I like it, because again, if you hear me betting Coors, if you buy a premium pick and I'm betting Coors, I must really love it. And lastly, let's get to this game. And, as I look at the Braves and Mets, this is the Island game at night, right? This is the last game, because I think most of the games are afternoon games or even at 6 o'clock. But Braves and Mets, 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing in. We get rain, which obviously can have effect. The fact that it's in Citi Field and not down in Atlanta leads me to look at the pitching matchup a little bit more. And what we have here is Grant Holmes and Griffin Canning. Canning's been surprising this year. He's kept the Mets in a lot of games. Up until recently, I think he got beat up in a start like 2 starts ago a little bit. But when you start looking at what we've seen on the flip side from Holmes, I mean, Holmes had that game against the Rockies. I don't think I've ever seen a game like it where he struck out 14 and his team gave up 10 runs. I don't even know how the hell that happens, but this is where we get into the weeds in baseball and talk about how ridiculous things can get. You got to get 27 outs. Unless you get a shortened game or something goofy. But I would lean towards the under here. I think both of these teams can keep the opposition at bay. The fact that the wind's blowing in and you get rain, Citi Field is a big park. It's hard to hit home runs there. Even with them moving the fences in, doesn't mean it's impossible. It's one of the better pitchers' parks. So I'll take my chance with some fly ball pitchers and the wind blowing in, and this game going under as my free play. So again, when you're looking at these games, check out all the premium plays. Like I said, I've been on an absolute tear. I mean, you guys can even check it out and buy one of the $19 picks. And, if I happen to lose, you get it back and get to go with something else. You get your token. So I think that's good. And, the weather play of the day for me has been very, very good this year. I think I've had one back-to-back losing days. Other than that, it's been all wins, man. I know people laugh at it sometimes when I talk about the weather, but it has an impact, and it's really changed how I gamble on baseball, and it's why baseball has become one of my best sports, honestly. So we'll see if we can't keep continuing to keep that pace up at the 65% clip I'm hitting at. But, we'll ride this while it's hot and ride it till the wheels fall off. So appreciate you guys listening, watching. You got to get used to me saying listening because I'm on radio and doing video. You put this face on video, and as I've said before, I look like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, and you ask yourself, can you think of Tim Allen as a sex symbol? I have to if I'm going to be confident in how I look. So anyway, until tomorrow, guys, appreciate you watching. I'll be back then and every day. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up is, and I'll talk about it quite a few times, my surgery. I'm having throat surgery. They're going to shave down the inside of my throat. Yeah, it sounds lovely. I'm going to have the worst sore throat for 2 to 3 weeks, which is just going to be miserable, and I'm going to be on an all-liquid diet. I have severe sleep apnea, and I've tried the CPAP. I've tried everything. So this is what the doctor's recommending for me to try to actually be able to sleep more than 3 hours consecutively. It's been brutal going on 8 or 9 months. So on August 4th is when I'm going in for the surgery. Depending on when I'm able to talk, even if I'm in pain, I'll still do this. But I'll be posting plays every day. I hate the fact that I got to take like a little hiatus, depending on how long that is, just because of this surgery. But I have to get it done. And I'm glad I was able to move it up. It was supposed to be August 26th, and I begged them. I said, if you have a cancellation, please get me in early because I don't want to bleed into football season. And me being in Baltimore, football is absolutely huge here. This team has Super Bowl plans, but they've had them the past 2 years and haven't got there. So looking forward to all this stuff coming up. Feel free to leave some comments. If you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, it's at JConnSports. That's CONN. The only reason I say that, if you have questions day of, feel free to shoot me a message. I always try to respond. Appreciate you guys listening. I'll be back tomorrow.